Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo and Joe Barry in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this doesn't work without you guys. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football guys here on this thirsty Thursday. Oh my God. Is it just me or is time flying by? You look down there at the clock right there. 57 days, 10 hours, 35 minutes, and 35 seconds away from the NFL draft. Less than 2 months. And boy, I got a lot of work to do. I'm redoing a lot of things here in the man cave, building towards the draft and getting ready for the 2021 season. Because the offseason is really the foundation for the season. Everything that you do now is amplified by the time you get to training camp. This is where you decide what kind of team you're going to be. Now, the talk, of course, has been about my quarterback, Dak Prescott, and signing him. But see, he is a major piece, but he's not the only piece. And thus far, as we are sitting less than 2 weeks away from the beginning of free agency, we have not done anything with our own free agents. And we've got a long list. Some of them need to retire. Some of them we know aren't coming back. But some of them we may need to re-sign because we can't replace everybody through the draft. Of course, Dak Prescott right now is a free agent. We'll see if he gets franchise tag or the long-term deal. But then there's Tyrone Crawford, there's Sean Lee, there's Andy Dalton, there's Cam Irving, there's Joe Looney, there's Aldon Smith, there's Blake Bell, there's Joe Thomas, there's LP Lassiter, there's Awuzie, CJ Godwin, Justin March, Jordan Lewis, Malik Turner, Alawalu, Xavier Woods, Greg Sinnett, Rondell Carter, Noah Brown, restricted free agents Cedric Wilson and Antoine Woods. Some of these guys are going to be key pieces for next year. And at the moment, some of them are headed for free agency. Now, it may be that the Cowboys let them look around and see what kind of offer they get and try and bring them back. Or some of them, they just kind of say, we're done. But regardless, those workings need to be happening sooner than later. Again, Tuesday is the drop dead deadline for using the tags. Tuesday. We're Thursday. And as far as we know, there haven't been any hiccups with the Dak Prescott situation. Hang on for a second here. Broadcast media. Have to do everything here, broadcast media. Have you ever dated somebody that went through bad relationships and you really like that person? You look at it, she's gorgeous, got good head on her shoulders, a nice job, and you look at this as a person, you say, yeah, that's a great person. I'd really like to do some things with that person. But unfortunately, you're dealing with the past drama from her. She went out with a guy who, maybe he didn't have a job. He was always taking money from her. Or maybe he was cheating on her. Things that had nothing to do with you. You are not cheating on her. You got yourself a good job. You haven't asked her money. You pay for dinner. But yet, she's always looking at you with a side eye and not trusting you. You know what I'm saying, right? You are paying for other people's mistakes. You're given the hard way to go. You aren't given the trust that you deserve because every situation is unique. Every guy is unique or girl. And instead of looking at the situation that you have in front of you, you're thinking about all of the bad shit that happened before. And because you're looking at all the bad shit that happened before, you end up missing out on a good thing. You don't appreciate the good thing that you have because you're stuck in what might happen. You might cheat on me. Last guy I had, he cheated on me. He was a dog. I ain't done that. I don't do that. But you might. Herein lies the problem for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys and some of the Cowboy fans out there. You're looking around and saying, oh, Jared Goff. Look at Jared Goff. They had to trade and get Matthew Stafford. If you pay him, it might be Jared Goff. Carson Wentz. Oh, man. You see, they paid a whole bunch of money to Carson Wentz, and you see what happened? He cheated on me. He cheated on me. You might do the same thing. Well, that's a possibility. That's always a possibility. But if you live in a relationship where you deal with the baggage that you got in the past, you're never going to have a good relationship going forward. People get burned. Teams get burned. It happens. But you have to look at each situation on its own. There were flags on Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz's rookie season, and this is what is always funny to me because Colin Cowherd and most of the talking heads out there will do this kind of thing. Oh, I always throw out the rookie year. You can't count the rookie year. Why can't you count the rookie year? It's part of the bill of work. Because he looked like ass. So did Jared Goff. Jared Goff, I remember Troy Aikman saying, this guy isn't an NFL quarterback. He was ass. Now, the Eagles, Carson Wentz, 2013, had a really good season. I'm not disputing that. But there were a lot of things that went on with that season. That season, they had a great team. It wasn't Carson Wentz. It was a great team. The defense they had was incredible. Their offensive line was as good as the Cowboys, if not better. They had a really good running game as well. These were all things, and they had a coaching staff that was actually doing good stuff. And, oh, by the way, they had a 4-play schedule. 4-play schedule. To give you an idea of the difference of that, the Washington football team has to play Buffalo, Seattle, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, New Orleans, plus, of course, the NFC East. As opposed to us, instead of us playing those guys, we're playing New England instead of Buffalo. We're not playing Green Bay. I think we're playing the Lions instead. I'm not sure. I think the 49ers instead of Seattle, and then the other teams that they play. So you see right there, that's a little bit of an easier schedule than what Washington's going to have because they were first, we were third. So the Eagles had that 4th-place schedule. People weren't concerned about the Eagles. They didn't have that target on their back till later in the season. He had a great season, not disputing it. But the next year when he came back, they were 5-6 with him. That year was terrible. Nick Foles saved him and got into the playoffs again. 2019, when they talk about, down the stretch, I'm sorry. He played ass teams, including my Cowboys. And in 2 games against the Cowboys, he scored a total of 26 points. And we all saw what he did this year. But we as Cowboy fans, or some of you guys, keep pointing and saying, but Dak could be Carson Wentz. Dak Prescott ain't never had anything like Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz. For years, we've heard about problems in the locker room. A divided locker room. Everybody loves Dak Prescott in there. Carson Wentz has been a turnover machine. That's never been Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has taken bullets for the team. Carson Wentz seems to throw him under the bus. So to say that Dak Prescott might be Carson Wentz, I don't think so. It's not the same situation. And Jared Goff, there's been chinks in Jared Goff's armor for years. You could say, yeah, he went to the Super Bowl. He did. The team went to the Super Bowl. You can't look and say with what Jared Goff did in the playoffs that they got to the Super Bowl because of Jared Goff. They came in because they had a great coach. They had a great team around them. Gurley had been beasting all season. You had a great defense that took away the football. That hasn't been the case with the Cowboys. We've had the opposite. So it's time to move on from these past relationships and realize you got a really good guy here, a really good guy. And the Cowboys need to get this thing done and get on to the other free agents that we have to sign of our own or outside of the building. So I want to end this. We'll see if the YouTube police get me or not. With Speak for Yourself. I believe Speak for Yourself has actually become one of the better talking head shows out there. Instead of it, yelling over each other and everything else, they actually have real discussions. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens now that Acho is going to be on The Bachelor. Who's going to be in place with Marcellus Wiley? Marcellus. Hey. Oh, no, that won't work because I'm a Cowboy fan. But just saying, call me. Have your people call my people. Oh, I don't have people. But just call me.
Are the Cowboys better off sticking with Dak or trading for Russ?
I want to say they're better off sticking with Dak. I think that's the most feasible approach to what's taking place with the Dallas Cowboys. There are a lot of valuable pieces of Dak Prescott that you can draw from that leads you to the conclusion that you stay with Dak Prescott. And again, this continues to be a conversation about Dak and his value and his worth. His value and his worth is legit in Dallas. But with that being said, can they get this contract done? The biggest issue here is not Dak's ability. It's his sign ability. And that's what's making all of these discussions as prominent as they are. Of course, he is the better option for Dallas. Mm-hmm. They're familiar with Dak. Dak is a leader. Dak is endeared himself to his team and to that community. Like I said, there is a lot of value that Dak carries. And I think that if you bring in Russell Wilson, I really don't see the bringing in of Russell Wilson taking this Dallas team and turning the corner. So you're taking a risk on that. So I think you got to really take a long, hard look at the signability issue. And really what it comes down to is the number that you have in your head and the number that Dak has in his head, is it worth you coming closer to his number to make this a reality? Because in the end, that's what's going to make the Dallas Cowboys team whole, is getting Dak Prescott signed, not trading him and getting Russell Wilson.
I agree. This is a no-brainer for me. Brandon Marshall is 100% accurate here. You stick with Dak Prescott. So let me put it to you guys like this. I've been married now for 15 years.
Nice.
I have a very beautiful wife. We have a great relationship. She's been with me through my ups, my downs, my good, my bad, my ugly. Mm-hmm. And yet she's still here. Like, she knows my ins and outs. I know her ins and outs. Even though we don't agree every single day, even though we can't come to the same consensus every single day, we still understand the long-term goal. We understand who we are for one another. That's the Dallas Cowboys right now. They just haven't been able to, like you said, LeVar, come to terms when it comes to signing that long-term deal. But they know what they have in one another. The Dallas Cowboys know who Dak Prescott is. If you try to go outside of your building and acquire a talent, yes, they look great. Their resumes are stacked, but do they fit? Do they fit not just from a football perspective and production on the field, but a leadership perspective? Can they lead? Can they be what you need and what you're seeing out of Dak Prescott, even in his injury state? Can you get that out of someone else? The answer possibly is yes. Hopefully is yes. But you're not sure. But you are certain with Dak Prescott. He's done everything. Every single day we get up here and we talk about Dak Prescott and we talk about everything that he's provided. And there's just not another quarterback out there that offers you much more to where you can still build your team and you just get a landslide of an upgrade at that quarterback position. I don't see it. Even when you talk about Russell Wilson, and it's inevitable. You're going to deal with contract situation, whether it's now with Dak Prescott, whether it's next year with Dak Prescott, or whether it's a few years down the road, if you desire to go and trade for a guy like Russell Wilson. Or even if you say, let's say you go and get Deshaun Watson, you still have to pay these guys. You're still going to have to eventually renegotiate a deal with the Russell Wilson. You're going to have to face this at some point. So why not do it with someone you know who is in love with you, who you've been in love with, or you're telling the world that you're in love with? Get it done.
There you go. There you go. Get it done. Well, we'll see what happens. The clock is ticking on whether or not the Cowboys franchise tag Dak or they get the long-term deal done. I'm Mark Holmes, and, well, I got some work to do in the workshop. I may do a live stream while we're working out there, while I'm building a couple things. Got some more racks to get out. We'll be giving away another rack tomorrow night during our live stream. Maybe two. We'll double up. We'll see how many we can get done today. But as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. I will see you guys soon.